Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
Welcome to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and last week we started a series of programs about the Samaritan Counseling Center. And I introduced to you Susan Barron, who's the executive director, and also Patty Peaceclock, who is the development director. And the development director term sounds really simple, but it's a big job within this organization. And so today I've asked Patty to come back along with Patrick Ramsey, who is an LPC and supervises in the clinical area. That means he's right there where the counseling takes place. And so it's a real pleasure to have both of you. And before we start, Patrick, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be at the Samaritan Counseling Center.
Well, let's see. I was working in private practice in Dallas-Fort Worth, and I decided, my wife and I had been doing, she's a stay-at-home mom and teaches at Tarrant County Community College, or taught at Tarrant County Community College, and we were at the point where we wanted to move to be with our in-laws, her parents. And they live in Midland, Texas. So I called her mom and said, "Hey, we're going to move down in Midland. Our kids are 3 and 4, and there's just a thin window of time where kids get to be with their grandparents and they get to know them." So we decided that we were going to do that. And they've talked about Samaritan counseling for ages. They had some of the services of Samaritan a long time ago. And so they'd always mention it to me, and I was like, "Well, I'm doing private practice, or I'm doing this or that." And so she said, "Well, what about Samaritan?" So I called up Susan Barron and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a counseling job. Do you have anything available?" And she said, "Well, we're looking for a clinical director." And I thought to myself, wow, that sounds really good. I'd like to participate in something like that. So went and interviewed.
And the interesting thing is that you, in your background, in your career, you have counseled in a public school in education. You've been in a ministerial situation, and then you've had your private practice. So this all molds together to make a really good experience as a clinical director and as someone who is counseling in this arena.
Oh, absolutely. It was funny when I started thinking about Samaritan. I did InterVarsity Christian Fellowship for a couple of years as a campus minister, and I thought, wow, I'm going to be back in ministry again. So, and then of course my education background helps me
relate to so many of
absolutely
young people that you have.
Well, and then private practice, I've done billing, I've done the administrative side of private practice, and
hiring and supervising.
Oh my goodness, I've been through all of it, and so it seemed like the perfect
fit
niche. And since I've been there, it's just been a blast. I've enjoyed working with everybody at Samaritan. I've enjoyed the supervision aspect of it, and it's really been, it seems to be a good fit for me.
And Patty, I know you introduced yourself last time, but let's just remind everybody about that.
Well, I have to mention again that I'm a Texas A&M graduate. I did social work for about 5.5 years, and then started into the nonprofit world for about 2 years, and then gave birth to my second daughter and stayed home with her for 5 years, and then got back into the workplace and was blessed to become a part of the Samaritan family.
And when you say the Samaritan family, we're talking about the whole of West Texas.
That's right.
And this program really spotlights on how we serve West Texas, not just how we serve Midland or Odessa or Midland, Odessa.
That's right.
But our fingers go into every community. And when I was active on the board, one of the things that surprised me was how many people we had referred to us from Crane, from Sanderson, you know, from Del Rio, from this whole West Texas area. And I want us to talk a little bit about the programs before we get into the clinical director, so talk about that.
Well, we have several different programs. One of the biggest things that we actually raise money for, that I raise money for, is for our CAF program, which is our Client Assistance Fund. The money that comes in for that fund helps low income men, women, children, anybody who's needing counseling. It helps provide financial aid for them so that we don't ever have to turn anybody away if they can't pay. We want to be able to serve everyone in the community, and it actually covers about 70% of our clients who come in, which is a large majority. And we want to be able to reach out to them with this ministry. And
a lot of people don't understand that there's insurance availability in
yes,
in
but
some cases.
Medicaid and Medicare only cover half of the cost of a counseling session, and these low-income clients cannot cover the rest of the cost. So that's one of the biggest programs that we offer, is just this Client Assistance Fund. We have the For Kids' Sake program, which is a seminar for divorcing parents. It's actually a requirement in Ector County. They will not finalize a divorce unless the parents have attended our For Kids' Sake program. So
is that a step forward?
Yes, it's wonderful.
Goodness.
So they can learn how to deal with help their children deal with the separation.
And
everything.
also as parents learn the effect that their actions have on the children.
That's right. It's really important. We also offer free veterans counseling to active military, to veterans of the Iraq and Afghanistan war. So we've also started a fundraiser in July that was called 31 Days, 31 Ways, and we raised money to cover other veterans from other foreign wars so that we can provide free counseling to them as well. So that was a wonderful new fundraiser that we started in July. We have a parenting program, which is free counseling for parents of children who are coming to the center to help them deal with the children and the issues that they may be having. We also do ADD testing, things of that nature as well. So those are some of the important
special programs.
Yes.
And one of the things that I love about the Samaritan Counseling Center is it molds itself to the needs at that particular time.
That's right.
And so it's a constant evolving and changing program. And also, going back to the veterans program, I know that this has been going on for a couple of years, at least, that I know I'm familiar with. And I love what you've done within and working with the Veterans Hospital in Big Spring and some of the others.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to take a break right now, but we're going to come back in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk with Patrick Moore about the clinical side and how you access it and so on. So we'll see you in just a minute.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.